Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Show. Man, time flies when you're having fun, especially that first segment.
Holy
real
cow.
estate nightmares, let me tell you. And let me tell you what's not a nightmare. What's not a nightmare is buying a new home with Pulte Homes.
There we go.
I think it's important to know that.
A nice tie-in.
Now, let me tell you, with that being said, we have Pulte Homes in the studio right now.
What a coincidence. What a coincidence. Almost like that was planned.
It was almost planned right there, right? Just a very, very, very good thing right there. Now, one of the things we always like to do is we always like to bring in, as you mentioned earlier in the show, we like to bring in experts to talk about everything associated with A to Z of home ownership, buying, owning, or selling homes. In this case, we want to really talk about, in the real estate nightmare theme, we want to bring in one of the good builders, one of the great builders here in the Houston area. We have Paul. Paul, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, thank you. Appreciate being here.
Oh, thank you very much. For all those who don't know, because there's a lot of home builders out there, let us know a little bit about Pulte, if you don't mind.
Well, great question. I appreciate it. Pulte Homes been in business since 1950, so we've been here for 63 years. One of the largest national builders in the United States, selling and closing close to 20,000 homes a year. So it's a big, reputable company, a lot of stability behind it, 29 states, over 60 major markets. So,
wow. So it's a small company.
Yeah.
Small company.
That's growing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Keep a strong, stiff upper lip, and
Yeah.
you'll get bigger.
You'll get bigger, right?
29 states. Holy cow.
Yeah, I think one of the things for our success, though, is we have that homeowner for life mentality where we do have 3 brands under Pulte Group. So it's Centex Homes, it's Pulte Homes, and it's Del Webb as well. So we've got a little bit for everybody out there, whether you're the first-time buyer or that active adult who just wants to now retire in that lifestyle.
And you're right, by the way. I mean, one of the things people don't realize is those 3 different brands. Obviously, Centex has been around for a long time. Pulte has been around for a long time. And your Del Webb community you have out in the Richmond area is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, just, it's an over 55 community, really, really nice, a lot of amenities, a lot of things they do. In fact, I've learned a lot in going in and into some of those communities about some of the active lifestyles over 55 in which they're doing in some of those things. I think that's really, really neat.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's unique here to Houston. We have over 21 of those in the United States, but here in Houston we've got 24,000-foot clubhouse and over 60 different clubs for probably right now 250 to 300 closed homeowners.
Wow.
And it's really cool because they get to experience the lifestyle that they wanted to enjoy and meet people of like-minded interests.
Absolutely.
And just go play.
Right?
Yeah.
I've always known Pulte as being also a very good builder for new homeowners that are out there, individuals who are looking at either buying into a new home and or move-up homeowners as well. Individuals who want to move up into the new lifestyles they get. Now, not necessarily over 55,
right,
but just move up into some of the larger homes. You build in a lot of communities here in the Houston area.
Chris, say, Rob is out of town playing. I mean, I think working.
I think playing was correct.
on the beach having fruity drinks.
And he's on the line. I think he's on the line. We're going to try to patch him in real quick so you can say hello.
you're
Rob,
kidding.
Rob, are you there?
I am here.
We managed to get you through.
Oh my gosh,
Good
are you
morning.
up?
I'm up. I got up here at about 6 o'clock, getting ready for the show. I always call in when I'm out of town, and so I try not to miss a show ever. So I'm in San Francisco for the National Association of Realtors Convention. I have a directors meeting. I'm an NAR director, so I'll be here through Monday morning, and then I'm flying back home. But I do want to kind of tie in with what you're talking about, because I've sold Pulte Homes in the past, and they have always been a phenomenal company to deal with. Things don't always go perfect, but it's how people address issues makes a difference between a great company and an okay company. I'm so happy that you're on today.
I appreciate it, Rob. Thank you.
And, of course, if you were a wine connoisseur, I'm in the mother country now. And so,
Italy.
We won't
Italy
see
is
you
the
for a
mother
few
country.
days? Is that what you're saying?
I've arrived in Mecca, but I've already been to some great restaurants, and going to another one tonight and hanging out with some really great real estate people.
Outstanding. Well, you're missed on the show today, Rob.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I'm not going to interfere. I'm going to let Pulte continue with their segment because these segments do go quickly. I just wanted to call in. I'm going to hang on the line for a while just to listen, but y'all have a great show.
Outstanding. Well, thanks for calling in, Rob.
Have fun.
Yeah.
I wanted to dovetail onto that as well. We purchased a Pulte home in Indianapolis, and it is nice to see the process and the service is very similar. Obviously, market to market, it's different, but to know that the company as a whole treats the clients and the process the same throughout. There's a lot of consistency. And in a new build, obviously, it's human hands. Mistakes can happen. Things always come up. There's not a perfect build, but the way that you handle it and the way that there's corrections made, it's phenomenal. You keep not only the agent involved, but the client involved. It's explained fully. It's a weather delay. The delay is this reason. You go into such detail that it is a calming and a very professional explanation, so everybody is at ease instead of putting a wall up and no communication where it makes everybody upset. It is a very good product, and it's also a very easy sell.
I appreciate that. And like Chris had alluded to earlier, doing the right thing in service. That's what we're all about because it's sticks and bricks out there. It's so competitive here in the Houston marketplace. To really differentiate ourselves, it's the service, that customer service, the quality of the service. And we pride ourselves on the expectation setting. We pride ourselves in the communication from the time they sign a purchase agreement to even 12 months after they close, and then deliver on those expectations. So we've put some processes in place we call the 7-step process, where we're inviting our homeowners out to sit down for a pre-construction meeting before we even start the home. They sit with their superintendent, their builder, their sales professional, and just go over all that paperwork because you're right, things are missed. So we allow our homeowners an opportunity to personalize their home. They go to the design center and choose how they want to appoint their home. And so sometimes things get missed, and so those are some of the nightmares out there. But we have processes in place that we make sure we mitigate that risk.
Exactly.
And then we invite them back out for a formal meeting with our field manager as well before we even hang the drywall.
What do you think is, from the customer side, the greatest cause of dissatisfaction or whatever? If a customer was sitting down for the building process, so you don't know what questions to ask sometimes. Right?
No doubt.
And those are the things that lead to the nightmare.
Absolutely.
For both sides. As a builder, you're going, hey, we headed down this road because this is what you had communicated. And the customer's going, I didn't know what to communicate. Right? So from the customer side, what are some of the good questions that they should ask of their builder to get to that end product that they love?
Great question. I think the biggest thing, they've got to do their research. Right now, people are out there doing research. They start on the internet 92, 93% of the time. There's so many choices and opportunities out there, and these buyers are going on this emotional roller coaster. They don't know who to believe, who they like, or even more importantly, who to trust.
Right.
Because as you know, salespeople are going to do and say anything to sell a home. So there's that trust issue that we've got to get through. So we really speak to our service and document it and look someone in the eye and tell them what they can expect if they purchase a Pulte home with us. And that's the biggest thing.
And what you're saying is actually very true. One of the things we talk about all the time is the internet drives a lot of people to find people, right? But it's not a good mechanism to negotiate price or the best service, right? The best way to do that is to sit down, as you mentioned right there. And we talk about it all the time. If somebody calls me up and says, what's your rate? And I say, is that the only thing you're interested in? Because if that's the case, I'm not the guy for you.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of other things associated with getting a mortgage.
Yeah.
Same thing with buying a Pulte home.
Yeah.
If they call you up and say, can you offer me XYZ price per square foot? Not a good, probably the right client for you.
Right.
Because that's not what Pulte does. Pulte is into sitting down. It's into, going through the process, talking about that process. And so one of the nightmares I always say is all those individuals, I love the internet. I love technology. I love social media. Know how to utilize that to enhance the personalization that you want to ultimately get to versus as a replacement of the personalization that you think it could become. Right. And that's one of the things that I see as a nightmare for me sometimes is, they want to utilize everything as a hands-off approach. And I know in the building side, it's obviously one of those things is they have to be hands-on and you have to set those expectations. And if they want that quality of service, if they want that follow-up, they want that sales rep from Pulte, that's what they're going to get. They're going to get all that good experience and all that what I call palms to palms type approach.
Yeah, you're absolutely right because we're set up where our team is calling our customers once a week and just kind of setting expectations and giving them time frames. And if we do have something that was missed, absolutely, we communicate that.
You know, I didn't buy a new home. The last home I bought was pre-owned home.
Used.
Pre-owned home.
Pre-owned.
A used home.
And Rob's not here to
Used
bother
home.
you.
Yes, and Rob's not here to give me a hard time about saying a used. So, but I was good, Rob. I said pre-owned. Anyway, we went and looked at houses, and I mean, literally the first house we looked at, we knew was going to be the house we wanted. We went and looked at a ton of other ones after that, and we ended up going back to the first house that we already knew was the one anyway. But so I didn't know in that process. I didn't have the experience of sitting down with someone and building a house. Next house I do is going to be a new house. I've looked at pros and cons on both sides, and I think with the technology, just in our house was built in 91, and that doesn't sound like that long ago. But technology has changed so dramatically in houses and how they're built and all that sort of thing, and energy efficiency.
No doubt.
It just blows my mind at some of the people that talk about the size of the house that they have and their electricity bills and stuff. I'm like, holy cow, I paid like 3 times more than that.
Yeah.
And the cost of overcoming that, it's my return on that investment in putting 30 new windows in my house at $300 a pop, or whatever or more. I'm like, it's astronomical. So I have to look at those sort of things. I'm probably going to go new the next time around. I go back and forth, but in that process,
there's a great home builder here in the studio, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
In their sales process, do you find sitting down with somebody when they're talking about features, do you guys bring up things like, again, you don't know what questions to ask? So now it's more about lifestyle and what kind of lifestyle people want to have. We're on a break. He's playing the music to shut me up. Wow! Time flew. Okay, well, it'll be a good segue to finish with that thought. What questions you asked for establishing a lifestyle for the customer.
Well,
it'll be a good segue into building.
Yeah, one of the nice things that we do is you're able to personalize your home with the new home. So that's the biggest thing. You buy a used home, you get it is as is, personalize a new home, and customize it the way you want it.
Gotcha. Well, we're already up against the break, and we've got to run. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
I can make the
Wow,
rain go